Hello everyone, welcome again to this full moon. It's a full moon and an eclipse. We are in eclipse season, so we are going to have this hybrid kind of eclipses since we are changing between axes from the Taurus and Scorpio axis to the Aries and Libra axis. So we are going to have this for the whole year. And well, for this one we will have an eclipse that is going to be, you can watch it in most of the places in Europe and Asia, so it can be interesting to watch. So we are going to have this full moon happening at 33 minutes past 6 p.m. Portuguese time. And the eclipse happens exactly 11 minutes earlier, so you can see it at 22 minutes past 6 on the 5th of May, by the way. So we have the sun. We have the sun in Taurus. We have the moon in Scorpio. We still have the lunar nodes happening in this axis in the very beginning of it, so that's why this is not a total eclipse anymore. And we also have Mercury retrograding in Taurus. We have this full moon happening very, very close to Uranus. The sun is very, very close to Uranus, and we'll have Jupiter also joining Taurus in just a week or so. And we have this very, very strong vibe of the eclipse. If anything, well, a full moon is already very intense. Usually, we can all, most of us can feel it, especially if we have some planets. If you know your chart, and if you know that you have some planets or angles at the 15th degree of Taurus, of Scorpio, of Leo or Aquarius, you know that you're going to feel this more intensely than anyone else. But here, since this is an eclipse, it brings this urgency, this pressure. So it's like almost a pressure cooker that you don't know exactly how or when it's going to explode. But you can guess it, or you can be have a close eye on it by observing the houses where you have the signs and this degree of each sign. So this can already give you some hints on that. But as I was saying, so this is going to affect especially the fixed signs, and especially everyone that has some planet or some angle in the 15th degree. But of course we have also something else happening that happened just a few days ago that can also play a role here, because it's also in one of those fixed signs, which is Aquarius. So we have Pluto that just had the first dip into this sign, and that now has turned retrograde. So on the 1st of May, Pluto started its move backwards, and it's going to enter again in the sign of Capricorn in June. So whatever this few months of Pluto in Aquarius have already touched, for you personally, you may want to have a close eye on it for the next decades. But for now, we are still going to close everything that has to do with the sign and the, of course, archetype of Capricorn, which rules every social structure and rules. So everything that is related to the great sources of power now in the world, and the governments, and the politics and economics. This is going to be highlighted. And since we have this eclipse happening in a square to the sign, we can assume almost a T-cross aspect configuration happening by sign, with involving this eclipse and Pluto, and of course a T-cross and this configuration, of course, always always gives this hint for us to look at the opposite sign of the angle, which is, of course, the opposite sign of Aquarius, which is Leo. So in my perspective, this is already a very good moment for us to understand how much have we been maybe putting our authenticity aside just to be applauded or to get validation from others or to be recognized by others, or just to and not really leading from our hearts, and from our authentic self, and of course also judging others and being critical on others, and maybe to narrow-minded, and comparing ourselves to others. So this is something that we may want to have a close eye for this one, especially having the Sun in Taurus and the Moon in Scorpio. So Taurus is, as I said, is Taurus rules everything that is solid, that is related to the resources of our life, of this experience of life on Earth. So the first resource that we have is the planet and everything that the planet gives us. So this is something that we have to pay very, very close attention, especially here in Portugal. We are going through very high temperatures for the season. In the south of Portugal specifically, we can't see any rain, and it's just too early already to have this such high temperatures and not enough rain. So this is giving us some pretty harsh tips already on what the summer is going to look like. So we need to have we need to change our approach to this kind of things. And of course, the sun is illuminating the moon, which is in Scorpio, and we have to look at this. We have to look at our resources with an eye, with a kind of a Scorpio eye, which teaches us to see everything with a cycle of ending and beginnings. So we may want to look at our resources, and of course I didn't speak about our greatest resource of incarnation, which is the body, of course, and everything that we are doing to our bodies just to maybe fit in, or to look pretty, or to look to be approved by others. Again, in this kind of shadow Leo side. So we need to look out for that. This search for being, to be validated for others and not actually leading from the heart and doing things. Taurus, it's a doer. Do things from the heart and not to the eye. So, and many of these things, as I was saying, we have to look at this kind of things with a Scorpio eye, which brings this learning of seeing everything as an ending. It has an ending at some point, so we have to enjoy while we have it, but it's going to end at some point. If it's good or bad, it's going to end. So we have to understand this, that life is cyclical, all the resources, nature is cyclical, and all the resources, they come and go, and they end at some point, so that we can discover new ones, or that we can create new ones. So this is something that we all need to learn, to also run in this nature, according to the nature cycle. And of course, individually speaking, when we have the moon in Scorpio, the moon basically is there to be illuminated by the sun, so that we can bring light to everything that we have been hiding, or that we have been clinging onto, even if it's a trauma, or if it's a toxic pattern, or if it's resentment, or if it's guilt or shame, everything that we have been hiding very, very deeply within ourselves or in our relationships. Now it has to come up, and it has to come up so that we can evolve. Again, this is from the Scorpio perspective, and I'm a Scorpio, not just the sun. I have many things in Scorpio. So this perspective of everything is going to end at some point, and we are here to evolve. And evolution, if we look at nature, or in any, even if we look at our lives, for us to grow, for us to evolve, we have so many endings and beginnings, and death and rebirths throughout our lives. This is normal, and it's normal that it continues to happen, and we are more than capable of dealing with this. But every time it happens, we freak out, or we try to we cling on everything that we know, and we try to control. And that's the greatest suffering. That's the greatest source of suffering. So the more we actually just go with whatever is happening and accept that, the easier it goes. And if there's something now that is, I'm not saying that that it doesn't bring pain and discomfort. Of course, it brings those kind of feelings, and it's from those kind of feelings that we grow. But while we're there, it's tough, and yeah, I can't say otherwise. But still, we know that after that, and how many of us have gone through so many difficult moments and losses in our lives, and from there we actually turned our life around, and we have such a better understanding of life, and a better experience. So everything brings something to life. Every kind of death and every kind of loss brings something to life. Open space for something to bring to life, to come to life. So this is something that we need to just ease on, I would say, and we have also to give ourselves time to do that, to process that. Mercury is retrograding, and it's not the only one, as I said, because Pluto has already started moving backwards. So we have both moving, and Mercury's in Taurus, so usually it already asks us to connect with the cycles of nature and to move accordingly, and to respect that, and not just our steps but our words as well. But now moving backwards, of course, it also, in my perspective, it brings the need for us to be consistent, to reflect on how consistent have we been, from what we say to what we do. And to what we do, of course, dealing with resources. Be it the resources that we grow, be it the resources that we take from nature, be it the resources that our body is giving us, and the opportunity that the body is giving us to be here, and how we take care of it, and how we respect our own rhythms, our own pace. So this is something that is very, very crucial. And of course, also when there's something touching this axis, this or other, that involves water and earth signs, of course, it also brings the need for us to understand what has been somatized into our bodies, what kind of emotional process or psychological process have become solidified in our body in some kind of imbalance or disease. So we need to look at those things. If our body says something, if it's pointing out some kind of pain, maybe it's for us to look at what's behind it. We need to treat it, of course, but we need to treat the source of it and not just the symptom. So, and this moon in Scorpio usually brings everything that has been traumatic, or the resentment or the guilt or the shame, of every process that has been hidden. It brings it to the surface again, so that we can observe it. And it may be something that is coming over and over again regularly at some for some of us. So it doesn't mean that you haven't been doing anything, but it just means that there is still something for you to learn with it. Is this spiral of consciousness? We are moving in this spiral of consciousness, so we are going through the same experience, but from a different level of consciousness, hopefully. So we need to also take credit for that, and just accept that it's here again for us to deal with it, and for us to learn with it. More than deal, it's to learn with it. And again, so this full moon, and specifically the sun, is very, very close to Uranus. So again, Uranus always brings this unexpected kind of vibes, and more than unexpected and surprising, it can be innovative and creative. So we can use this to also help us to move towards what we need to change, or we may just welcome whatever Uranus brings, and how it hits us, so that we can take that push towards that change. It may be, as I said, unexpected and surprising, and you may ask yourself if you're ready to actually go towards that, but maybe you are, and you just need that push. So Uranus is here also to help moving in that direction. And of course, taking our pace, taking our own pace and respecting that. So also we are going to have still in this in a week or so, as I said, Jupiter is going to also come into Taurus. Will move into Taurus. So this is something that can also bring us this optimistic side. And the focus of growth of resources, so it can bring us a little bit more strength as well. But more than growing more, I would say to focus on observing what's already there, what you already have, how much you already have, and trying to instead of focusing on what you still don't have and what there's still to achieve, because that's also Jupiter. It's like it's putting the focus further and further. So instead of doing that, and try to, maybe put it a little further, but trying to observe what's already the goodness that already exists, and on the way. Okay, so this may be a better approach to this Jupiter in Taurus period that we are going to start still this May. And also a reminder that Venus, so the ruler of the sun and of all those planets in Taurus, it's in the end of Gemini, and it has two aspects going on. One is very, very positive, which is to Jupiter, and the other one is to Neptune. So they're all great archetypes for love and for beauty and for harmony, for faith, for optimism. And Venus, of course, in a square with Neptune, of course, it can bring the rose glasses on. So it can bring a little bit of delusion and fantasy. So focus on the good side of this, which is the ability to look at things and at people mostly from this, not just with the beauty, on the beauty side of things, but on the compassionate and loving side, with the loving eyes. But of course, trying to understand that, or trying to also keep your foot on the ground, keep your feet on the ground, and be real, not building a story around what you're observing or around what you're living. Just bringing the loving eyes, but without the stories, without the very creative and fantasy stories around it. And of course, the sextile to Jupiter, of course, it brings the need to be sociable, to be out there, to be in contact with different people. Of course, Venus in Gemini already brings this kind of need to be out there and to be socializing, to be meeting different people, meeting friends, and having good conversations. But with this aspect with Jupiter, it goes further than that. It makes me want to grow while I'm in the company of others, and meet different people that can actually teach me something, or that can expand my horizons in some way. So maybe you'll feel the need to travel, or you'll feel the need to go to, I don't know, to some kind of course, and to do it with someone, or meeting people that actually kind of give you that kind of experience that they're like blowing your mind away. your mind or your heart or your spirit away. So this is something that can be very, very interesting. And of course, it can be also a very good source of help and support throughout this moment that can be quite intense and painful at some point for some of us. So we all need a little bit of this compassion and of this love, and for people to see the beauty in ourselves, and for us to also see the beauty in everyone else. So this is something that can be helpful, I would say, in this such intense moment. And so this is the last eclipse. For now, we are going to continue with this hybrid eclipses, as I said in the beginning, but they're just going to come later with the new moon in... so we have the full moon in Scorpio. We are going to have the full moon in Aries and the eclipse in Aries. The lunar eclipse in Aries in the fall, and also the new moon in Scorpio, and so the solar eclipse in Scorpio. So this is going to come in just in the fall. So for now, just keep going with what is being shown in your life, what is coming up for you personally. And just a reminder, I almost forgot again. So I'm going to put again the offer, the full moon offer. So if you're going through a rough time and you need some kind of support, so you'd benefit from a reading with me, and you don't have the means to actually have it, please participate, and I'll read through your story, and I'll communicate it in every platform, so you can just read what the criteria for you to participate, and I'll be very, very happy to read your story and to take you into account in this offer. So maybe it's yours. I'm just sending a big, big hug. Reminder also that whatever you're going through is going to pass. So just take the courage of Leo to lead from the heart, and to choose whatever decisions you have to make, to choose from the heart. Big, big hug to all of you there, and see you soon. Bye.